Hey everybody, it's Enamel Girl coming to you with another video. And before I get started, I want to send a quick shout out to my friends at LHCF. Thank you guys, you're so supportive. Love you. And here's your requested video on how to nail stamp. Okay, I have all of my supplies out, and what you're going to need are a stamper, scraper, image plate, stamping polish, and nail polish remover. Some other items you're going to need are a Q-tip or a cotton pad. The Q-tip and a cotton pad are to clean the image plate off after you stamp. My nails are already done and they're completely dry. So before you start stamping, you want to make sure your nails are completely dry. Two reasons. The first reason is so that your polish does not smear. The second reason is to give yourself a sharp image. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start stamping my nails. The nail polish I'm going to be using is Clean Color Black, and it's actually not a stamping polish. It's just a really good black color. And you may want to check your collection for polishes before you go out and purchase Konad polishes. You just want to make sure that the polish is pretty opaque and thick and you cannot see the brush. And it usually indicates that it's a good polish for stamping. I do have a recommended Konad white stamping polish. They have the best white available, in my opinion, on the market for stamping. A couple of quick messages about different stampers. There are a lot of different stampers available on the market. If you're a beginner, you may want to go with the Konad stamper because it's very soft and pliable. This is a cheap dollar stamper. I think it came with one of my image plate sets. It does work, but it's a lot harder than the Konad stamper. I can't push this in. The Konad stamper gives you more flexibility, which will allow you to push the image down onto the nail, which is great for very round nails like I have. So all of these stampers work. This one is from Salon Express from Sally's Beauty Supply. This one is from Konad, and this is just a cheap dollar one from China or somewhere I got in an image plate set. They all work, but if you're a beginner, you may want to go with the softest option. Even the Salon Express one is pretty soft, but not as soft as the Konad. So I've already polished my nails, and I'm sorry, some of my nails have designs on them already. I'm going to stamp on the nails that are not designed already. This is actually a sticker, and this is a stamp. Okay, I have my image plate ready to go, and the image that I'm going to stamp, I have it positioned to the right, so that when I scrape the image plate, I make as little of a mess as possible. And this is what I use as a scraper. It's just an old insurance card. I've been using it for about 3 years. An old credit card will probably do as well. And when the edges get old, I just file it down with a nail file. So that allows me to continue to use this card. And I've used it 3 years without a problem. Okay, so I'm going to put my polish on the image plate. And you don't have to cover the complete design. Then I'm going to scrape and stamp. And out of habit, I scrape twice. Now I'm looking at the image. It picked up well. Now I'm watching to see where I'm going with the nail stamper, and I'm just rolling the image onto my nail. I think that turned out pretty good. I also forgot to mention that you may want to put a paper towel down on your table or desk to protect it, because you will make a mess around the perimeter, or you can possibly make a mess around the perimeter. Some of the stamping kits come with this little device. You can use that and put your image plate inside, and it'll eliminate a mess, but to me it's just quicker and easier to put a paper towel down. Okay, so I have my image stamped, and what I'm going to do after I stamp all of my nails, I'm going to allow the polish to dry for at least 10 minutes. The reason being is because you want your polish to dry, because if you go over it with a clear top coat, it could possibly smear the polish. So you want to allow at least 10 minutes for the polish to dry. Okay, after you stamp your image, you can clean your nail plate off with acetone. And I like to use Q-tips so I don't get polish on my other nails. I also clean the edge of my scraper or my insurance card sometimes. And then you can look at your stamper and see if it needs to be cleaned. If so, go ahead and clean it too. Just a quick word about stamping before I forget. You want to work pretty fast. You want to work very quickly. So after you scrape, stamp, you want to look at it really quickly to make sure it made it to the stamper. Line it up onto your nail and then roll it onto your nail. You want to work very fast because say if you have your image on your stamper and you're thinking about, oh, where am I going to go with this image? Meanwhile, your image will be drying on your stamper and it won't allow you to transfer onto your nail. So after you scrape, push down, look at it, roll it onto your nail. You want to do that in about 4 to 5 seconds. And it does take practice, you guys. Some people get really frustrated when they don't do it perfectly the first time, but honestly, my first Konading or stamping looked pretty bad. I mean, it looked great to me because I was amazed that I had the ability to do such a detailed design, but looking back now, with all of the practice that I have, I can definitely see an improvement. And it does just take practice, you guys. I don't want you to think that's too difficult or invest money in a product that you don't use. Even if you just practice on one nail, an accent nail, like every other day, I think that will improve your stamping skills. And it really does just take practice. Okay, I've said too much. Anyway, back to my nail stamping. I've cleaned my plate. I'm going to move on with Konad white. I'm going to stamp that over black. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next nail. Like I said, I did polish my nails yesterday. If you are going to stamp over a previously done manicure, make sure that you swipe your nail with alcohol. That will allow the design to stick better. So I have my polish. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to scrape, stamp, look at it, and then roll it onto my nail. Okay. Like I said earlier, you want to allow at least 10 minutes before you put on a top coat so that you don't smear your design. Okay, I wanted to quickly tell you before I forget, Konad makes this red double-ended stamper, but they also make a white stamper, which I recommend if you're stamping with red nail polish. You want to be able to see it so that you can know where to place it on your nail. If you stamp it with this red stamper, you may not necessarily be able to see it. Another thing is when you first get your stamper, you want to take a nail file or maybe a buffer and just gently scrape over your stamp. I've been scraping this stamper for 3 years now and it's still good. So don't worry about over scraping it. And you may not have to scrape it every time, but at least for the first week or so, you want to rough it up so that it can grab the polish. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my top coat. Like I said earlier, you want to allow at least 10 minutes so that the polish can dry. And when you put on your top coat, you want to gently dab so that you don't smear the polish. And I'm just using a cheapy Wet n Wild clear coat. And then I'll let that sit for a second and then I'll go over it with a quick dry top coat. That way you don't get polish into your expensive quick dry top coat and ruin it. And the extra polish that's around the perimeter of the nail, you can just take a Q-tip and get that off, or you can take a paintbrush and remove that off. I have my cheapy top coat on. Now I'm going to go in with my Setch feet and top off the cheapy top coat. Now all I have to do is just clean up my edges. I'm going to try to get a good picture and come back.